Hello students, welcome to class. Our topic for today is cooperative societies. In this class, we'll be looking at the definition and characteristics of cooperative society. We'll be looking at types of cooperative societies, advantages and disadvantages of cooperative society, and problems of cooperative society, and looking at the similarities and differences between cooperative societies and company. So we're starting off with the definition of cooperative society. Cooperative society is a voluntary organization in which individuals, businessmen and traders with common interests pool their resources together to promote the economic interest of their members. A cooperative society is managed and controlled by the members. It is not owned and controlled by the government or anybody outside the group. Now let's look at the types of cooperative societies. We have 1. Retail cooperative society. This is a cooperative society formed by small independent retailers who pool their resources together to enable them buy in bulk and then sell the goods at lower prices to their members, who receive some form of patronage returns based on the amount of goods they purchased. 2. Wholesale cooperative society. This is formed by small-scale wholesalers who purchase goods in bulk from the manufacturers at a reasonable price and sell in small quantities to the retail cooperative societies. They raise a large sum of money to finance wholesale purchases when they come together. 3. Producer cooperative society. This is formed by producers of similar products who organize cooperative production and undertake joint marketing of the product on wholesale or retail basis. An example is a situation whereby farmers purchase farm implements or seeds in large quantity and sell to members at a reduced price. Number 4. Consumers Cooperative Society. Consumer Cooperative Society is owned and operated by a group of ultimate consumers who pool their resources together to purchase goods and services in large quantities and distribute primarily to its members. And 5. We have Credit and Thrift Society. This is an association of low-income earners who jointly pool large resources of funds together by contributing on a weekly or monthly basis. This is a way of encouraging people to save money. They also help to give loans to their members with low rate of interest. And lastly for this class, we have Multipurpose Cooperative Society. This is a cooperative society formed by existing cooperative societies. It undertakes any form of activity that is profitable to the society. Now let's take a look at characteristics of cooperative society. 1. It is democratic in nature, that is, every member of the group can contribute and participate in the decision-making process of the organization. 2. The control and management of the cooperative society is by an elected committee whose members must be members of the group or members of the cooperative society. 3. The aim and objective of the cooperative society is to ensure that the interests of its members are protected and improved. 4. Members of the same cooperative society must be members with common interests. 5. Profit is shared based on patronage. Surplus for the year is shared based on their patronage during the year. 5. There is continuity in cooperative society. The death of a member of the group cannot bring the society to a close. 5. The capital of the cooperative society is contributed by the members of the group. And lastly for this class, the cooperative society is registered as a limited liability company. That is, the liability of members is limited to the shares held by individual shareholders. So now let's move on to advantages of cooperative societies. The first we have is cooperative societies help their members in marketing their products and ensuring fair prices for their products. 2. There is continuity in cooperative societies. The death of a member cannot bring the cooperative society to an end, as we've said earlier. 4. Cooperative society encourages saving habit among members. 5. Loan facilities from banks or governments. Cooperative societies can obtain loans easily from banks and can also receive assistance from the government. 6. They buy from producers and sell to members at low prices. Hence, the middlemen and the attendant high prices of goods are bypassed. Next, cooperative society can mobilize funds needed for business investment and expansion by giving loans to their members. Lastly, they improve standard of living of their members by providing goods which they cannot buy normally on their own. Now let's take a look at some disadvantages of cooperative society. 1. Lack of adequate capital to run the cooperative society because the major source of their finance is members' contribution. 2. People prefer to invest their monies in other areas because of the low level of dividends from cooperative societies. 3. The leaders or committee in charge of the cooperative society are not specialists. Therefore, the society might not be efficiently and effectively managed. 4. The government interferes into the administration of the society. This is because every society must be registered with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. 5. The leaders or board of directors sees this as an opportunity to become richer, so they tend to embezzle the society's fund. Most times, they give large amount of money to themselves even when they are not qualified for it. And lastly, the high level of illiteracy in Africa has made the training and education of members very difficult. Now let's take a look at some problems of cooperative societies. 1. Poor management. Generally, members of the management committee who are elected from the members of the society lack business experience. These people lack managerial talent, and this makes the cooperative not to function effectively or efficiently. 2. Insufficient capital. Since the funds or the capital to run the cooperative society is from members' donation, it is usually insufficient. 3. Lack of commitment. 4. Absence of cooperation. In most cases, there is absence of cooperation among members of the cooperative society due to internal quarrels and individualistic tendencies. 5. Dishonesty of cooperative society leaders and committee members. 6. Illiteracy. As we've explained earlier, members of cooperative society, some may have poor level of education, which render the cooperative society inefficient. 5. Unplanned and unprofitable businesses or investments. Due to their members' high level of illiteracy and the leaders' inexperienced status, the cooperative ventures into unprofitable investment, and this causes the cooperative society to be stagnant. Next, inadequate external and internal funding. As we said earlier, sufficient capital. Also have overdue loans. This also emerges as a problem to cooperatives, as members who took loans from the society could not pay back as at when due. 7. Next, personality and community clashes. This may also hinder cooperative society. Next is dishonesty of employees. We also have dilapidated infrastructure. We also have government intervention. And lastly, we have absence of qualified and trained cooperative officers. So let's take a look at some similarities between cooperative society and a company. 1. They are both registered. The cooperative society and the company are registered, and in Nigeria they are registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission. We also have the shareholders in both organizations receives funds. We also have the old annual general meeting called AGM. Next, they are both legal entity, meaning they are separate from the owners. And lastly, members buy shares. And lastly, let's take a look at differences between a cooperative society and a company. The main aim of a cooperative society is to promote members' welfare, while the aim of a limited liability company is to make profit. 2. Members have equal voting rights in a cooperative society, while in a company, members have controlling effect on the basis of their shares. 3. In a cooperative society, surplus is divided on patronage basis, while in a limited liability, surplus is divided on proportion to shareholding. 4. In a cooperative society, members pay registration fees apart from the shares, while in a limited liability company, registration fees are not paid after paying fully for the shares held. 5. A cooperative society is managed and controlled by elected members of the society, while in a limited liability company, the shareholders elect the board of directors to manage and control its activities. And lastly, a cooperative society can only be registered under cooperative laws, while a company must be registered and incorporated under the Company and Allied Matters Act. And before we go, let's take a quick exercise. Question 1. Define cooperative society. Question 2. Give any 5 features of a cooperative society. Question 3. Describe any 4 types of cooperative society. Question 4. Explain 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages of cooperative society. And lastly, state 5 problems of a cooperative society. Thank you. Good luck. With this, we've come to the end of this class. Thank you for watching. See you in our next class. Bye bye.